Right when you thought things couldn't get any crazier, this election cycle just continues to throw curveballs at us. Teamsters, which is one of the largest unions in the country, just delivered a stunning blow against Kamala Harris. Then, a newly surfaced video of Kamala shows her threatening to go inside homes, your home and my home. And then Kamala Harris appeared to try out a brand new accent. We'll get to all of that and much more in today's video, but first we turn to Long Island, New York, where Donald Trump is hosting a mega rally.
I am here at the Trump rally in Long Island, New York, and as you can see, there are thousands and thousands of people here already. It is crazy the amount of people here. I'm told that there is a mile-long line outside, miles long, and we're just getting started. The event doesn't open the doors until 5 p.m. Let's go.
As I reported last week, the Coliseum has a capacity of approximately 16,000 people. Well, the Trump campaign has confirmed that 60,000 people have requested tickets. So if all 60,000 people show up, they're not going to be able to go inside. But Trump, of course, is famous for having the overflow rallies, the screens outside. So this could be a massive rally in the state of New York, which obviously is deep blue. Fox News confirmed that 60,000 people have now requested tickets, dwarfing the capacity of 16,000. And by the way, the population of the town is 30,000.
Campaign reportedly says 60,000 plus people requested tickets to tonight's event. Those who can't watch it will be able to see it on monitors here in the parking lot. The Nassau County executive says security is airtight, emphasizing there's a small army of local and federal agencies supporting the Secret Service today.
Now, you'll notice that that was at 9 a.m. when the line was beginning. Well, by the time it got to 1 p.m., the line was massive, and the rally doesn't start until 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 Central. So take a look at this line from 1 p.m.
Well, you are looking there at new video from outside former President Trump's rally that's happening tonight.
Massive crowd. Now, last week when I first reported this, I was speculating on why they would go to New York. I think there are two options here. Number one, maybe there are internal polls showing that New York is back in play. If you take a look at Real Clear Politics or 538 or any of these sites where they pull all the polling data together, there hasn't been a high-quality poll polling Harris and Trump in New York for at least 6 weeks. So, we don't have any new data. But the other option is that the New York media market is so large, right? So Pennsylvania obviously is a swing state. So by going to Long Island, Trump is really hitting multiple states, including Pennsylvania. He's hitting New Jersey. But then the Trump campaign actually issued a statement earlier this afternoon, and they appeared to really lean towards that second theory, according to Fox News. So why, with less than 50 days to go until Election Day and time becoming a very precious commodity, is Trump holding a campaign rally just outside of New York City? Quite clearly, New York is the biggest media hub in the country. Trump campaign spokesperson Tim Murtagh told Fox News. Murtagh, however you pronounce it, forgive me, emphasized that when Trump delivers a message there, it's piped directly into the homes in every market, in every battleground state. The most valuable commodity we have is President Trump's time, and that event is making efficient use of it. So what will be interesting is, because it is in New York, because New York is a media hub, what we'll want to watch for tonight is Trump going to deliver new policy messages? Is he going to unveil new attack lines on Kamala Harris? Is he going to reveal new ideas? So this tonight, I don't think is just going to be any other rally. I expect, if I were a betting person, I would bet that there are going to be things that we haven't heard at a rally before. Usually the candidates go out, they have their prepared stump speeches, they, have the recycled themes that they hammer home and home and home again. But because this is such a major opportunity in a big market, I personally expect to hear something new that we haven't heard before. Now, the timing of this is very important because there is a brand new Quinnipiac poll. One of you, I believe it was Jessica, asked me to comment on it. Well, I'm not too worried about that. Here is Frank Luntz. Frank Luntz, of course, is a very famous pollster, and he is not Trump-friendly. Now, I wouldn't call him anti-Trump, but he is definitely not He's probably not voting for Trump. I'm not sure if he's actually said who he's voting for, but it's pretty clear he's not a supporter. And he pointed this out. For what it's worth, the Quinnipiac, Pennsylvania poll had Biden up 8 points in August 2020 and 13 points in October 2020. Biden only won the state by 1.2 points. So, Quinnipiac hugely overestimated Joe Biden, underestimated Donald Trump, and the closer we got to the election, their margin of error actually increased. But here is the good news. Even, we've talked about, and I've talked about on the channel in various videos, how the polls were both incorrect in 2020 and 2016 in that they underestimated Trump. Well, even let's just say they're not underestimating everything. Let's say that the polls got everything spot on today. Well, Nate Silver released a brand new model. You'll notice at the bottom, updated September 18, which is today. If the polls, no data, no manipulation at all, if the election was held today and the candidates came in at their current polling averages, Trump would have a 52% probability of winning the Electoral College compared to 47.6 for Kamala Harris. And there's two different ways to interpret this. You can say either the polls go in Trump's favor or in Harris's favor. So, for example, it says if Trump improves 1 percentage point from the current polls, then his probability of winning increases from 52 to 59.9%. But there's another way to interpret this. Instead of thinking about it as far as the polls moving, thinking about it as far as the polls underestimating Trump. What happens if the polls underestimated Trump and if Trump overperforms by 1 point? What if he overperforms by 2 points? And the lowest, depending on the range you look at, the lowest that Trump has underperformed, it was 4%. And then he Trump overperformed by as little as 4% and then overperformed by as much as 7% based on which polls you look at. So even on that more conservative side, if Trump overperforms 4% from the current polls, then he has a 79.8% chance of winning. Now, again, that is assuming two things because there are multiple variables. Number one, the polls, whether or not the polls are accurate. And then number two, whether or not Trump overperforms the polls again, which I know they sound interlinked, but those are actually two very different questions. Now, Teamsters, which is one of the largest unions in the country, and this is, when you combine this with the polling data, this is really a stunning blow for Kamala Harris. So they held a town hall back when Joe Biden was the presidential nominee for the Democrats, and it showed that Biden was winning. This is among the rank and file. This is among the members of the union, of the Teamsters union. Biden won the straw poll 44 to 36%, okay? Now, with Kamala Harris, they did an electronic member poll, and I get that electronic polls aren't, the most accurate thing, but this is limited only to the Teamsters members, and Trump demolishes Harris 59.6% compared to 34%. The same group that said that they would have voted for Biden. Well, the Teamsters bosses weren't happy with the electronic poll, so they actually did an official telephone poll to their members, and they found the exact same thing, essentially. Trump 58% to Harris's 31%. And this is why it's such a stunning blow, because according to the Washington Post, Teamsters will not endorse for president and blow to Democrats. The last time the union didn't endorse a presidential candidate was in 1996. They almost always endorse, and when they do endorse, they endorse very Democratic. They always go left-leaning. And so the bosses, the heads of the union are very liberal. They apparently are unhappy that the rank and file support Trump. So instead of endorsing Trump, they're just saying, we're sitting this one out because, of course, they don't want to endorse Harris because they know what she says about fracking. They know what she says about oil and gas. Now, according to Yahoo Finance, International Brotherhood of Teamsters, IBT, is the fourth largest union in the country with a total active membership of 1.3 million. And then there's an estimated, from what I researched online, about 500 that are retired. So this is a massive union, heavily concentrated in those crucial swing battleground states like Pennsylvania. So that is a stunning blow for Kamala Harris. Oh, and by the way, former President Trump himself has weighed in on this endorsement.
Big difference in those big industrial states, you think? They're going to make a difference?
I think it will, yeah, I think so. The Teamsters carry a lot of weight. The Democrats cannot believe that. And, look, this is it was always automatic that Democrats get the Teamsters, and they said we won't endorse the Democrats this year. So that was an honor for me.
Now, speaking of stunning blow, this old video of Kamala is now going re-viral because she was talking about gun violence and she was threatening to forcibly enter people's homes just because they have guns. Basically, she wants to make sure that you're storing your gun the right way. That's unconstitutional. This is an old clip, but it is recently resurfaced, and I'm so glad that it's getting the light of day.
Responsible behaviors among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
Have you heard from the...
Absolutely incredible. Not in a good way, in a bad way. You know, they call Trump the tyrant. They call him the dictator. That right there is tyranny. The fact that she thinks that the government can just walk into your home to see how you're storing something that you legally have the right to buy and own is just ridiculous and should alarm people. If she has the power of the federal government behind her, I honestly can't think of anything more scary right now. Last but not least, Kamala Harris has tried out a brand new accent. You have met Sister Kamala, you've met Indian Kamala, you've met Southern Kamala. Well, now I would like to introduce you to Señorita Kamala.
I love you back.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. No one cares about her ethnicity, her race, or what accent she actually has. What we care about is that, you know, it proves the point that she's a phony, that she's a fake, and she's just trying to pander for votes instead of using ideas, instead of using character, instead of using experience to form her platform, her running platform. So it's just sad that, you know, she thinks that simply changing her accent will earn her votes. I think it says as much about our society as much as it does about her. But as always, this is my commentary and analysis, and I would love to know yours in the comments below. What do you think about this rally in New York, in Long Island? Do you think that there is a chance that New York will go red, or do you think this is strictly a play for the media hub there to try to get into the homes in Pennsylvania, to try to broadcast his message nationwide, since, you know, the biggest media companies in the world are mostly based out of New York City? If you haven't already, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask, but it really does help me in the algorithm to reach more viewers like you. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.